You're sitting there, lost in your thoughts, replaying every little conversation like it's some kind of tragic movie. Every word, every pause, every sigh, you analyze it all, searching for answers that don't exist. You keep waiting for people who aren't coming back, for closure that will never happen, for apologies that were never meant to be given. You're pouring your heart out for ghosts who don't even remember your name. But here's the truth. No one tells you. They don't care. They never did. And the moment you accept that, you take your power back. Stop bleeding for people who wouldn't even lift a finger for you. You owe them nothing, but you owe yourself everything. If you're ready to step into a mindset where you stop chasing, stop begging, and start winning, then subscribe. Because here, we don't break, we rise. Let me tell you a secret. They don't care. They never did. But here you are, letting their opinions live inside your head like squatters who refuse to leave, acting like you owe them something. That's the joke. That's the punchline you keep missing. They aren't losing sleep over you. They've moved on, forgotten, probably even laughed at how easy it was to get inside your head. And yet, you're still here, caught in the same loop, rehearsing comebacks you'll never say, staring at the ceiling at 2 a.m., asking yourself what you did wrong. Here's the truth. You didn't do anything wrong. The problem wasn't you. It was that you cared in a world that rewards the heartless. You let yourself feel, and they saw that as weakness. They called you worthless, made you believe you weren't enough, and you believed them. That's the real tragedy. Not what they did, but the fact that you let their words become your truth. You handed them the knife, and they twisted it deeper, knowing you'd still be standing there hoping, waiting, proving. But they were never going to stop. That's not how this game works. People build you up just to watch you shatter, because broken things are easier to control. They test you to see if their words still make you flinch, if they still have power over you. The only way to win is to stop reacting. Stay unbothered. Nothing drives them crazier than realizing their words don't cut anymore. Look around you. This world is full of parasites disguised as saints, liars pretending to be saviors. They tell you they care, and then they leave. They break you and call it fate. They burn you alive and call it a lesson. And you keep standing there in the flames telling yourself it doesn't hurt that much, but here's the thing, you don't have to stay. You don't have to keep giving pieces of yourself to people who only show up when they need something. You're allowed to walk away. You're allowed to shut the door and never look back. You don't owe them forgiveness. You don't owe them explanations. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is say nothing at all. Because that's what they can't handle, silence. They want a reaction. They feed off your pain. The more you scream, the more satisfied they are. But silence makes them question everything. Are you planning something? Have you finally woken up? Or worst of all, have you stopped caring entirely? That's their greatest fear. And you know why? Because if you stop caring, they lose their power over you. If you stop waiting for apologies, if you stop hoping for closure, if you stop giving CPR to dead situations, they become nothing, forgotten. And that terrifies them. They want you to stay small because that's the only way they feel big. They build their whole identity around keeping others beneath them, because deep down they're empty. Just shells, rattling with insecurities and envy. The only way they feel tall is by standing on your broken bones. So let them talk. Let them tell their little lies. Let them pretend they're better than you. And you walk past them like they don't even exist. You smile like they never mattered. Because in the end, that's what they fear most, that you could move on without them. That you could live without their approval. That you could finally realize you were never the problem. Misery loves company, but don't you dare RSVP. There's a kind of strength that most people don't understand. They think being strong means shouting back, proving a point, making others eat their words. But real strength, true, unshakable strength is silent. It doesn't waste time arguing. It doesn't need to prove anything. It lets people think they've won just so it doesn't have to explain itself. Because when you're truly strong, you don't fight battles that don't matter. You don't waste energy on people who aren't worth it. You don't swing when you're the only one in the ring. Instead, you let them exhaust themselves, throwing punches at shadows, while you save your strength for something that actually counts. Life gives you a choice. You can spend your time trying to get even, or you can spend it getting ahead. The people who wronged you, they aren't even in the race. They're too busy watching you, hoping to see you stumble. They're waiting for a mistake, desperate for proof that you aren't as strong as you seem, because your success reminds them of their own failures. Your growth is a mirror that forces them to see what they don't have. Every step forward you take is a slap in the face. Every breath you take without them is proof that you never needed them. And that truth eats them alive. So don't give them what they want. Don't give them your attention. Stay calm, stay quiet, stay untouchable. Let them wonder if they ever really knew you at all. Speak less. Move in silence. Let them realize, too late, that the fire they thought would destroy you was the same fire that made you stronger. Because when you stop caring, truly stop caring, they lose all control. Their words become meaningless, their plans fall apart, and all they're left with is silence and regret. People always say forgive and forget. They tell you to move on, to let go, to be the bigger person. But they don't tell you the truth. Forgiveness isn't about setting them free. It's about setting yourself free. Some people think forgiveness is a second chance, an open door to hurt you again. They mistake kindness for weakness, silence for submission. But real forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. It's cutting the chains, walking away, and never looking back. It's not about giving them peace. It's about giving yourself peace. But don't confuse forgiveness with forgetting. You don't forget. You remember every lesson they forced you to learn. Every betrayal, every knife in your back, every lie told with a smile. You keep those memories, not out of bitterness, but as a reminder of what you survived. Because survival is the greatest revenge. Waking up every day, still standing, still breathing, still moving forward, that's what they can't stand. They expected you to be broken, lost, consumed by anger. They thought they had the power to destroy you. But here you are, walking through the fire like it never touched you. Cold eyes, silent mouth, and that silence is the loudest thing they've ever heard. The ones who tried to break you, they live for your reaction. That's how they feel powerful by. Making you scream, making you cry, making you doubt yourself. They push every button just to see if you'll snap. But the moment you stop responding, the moment you refuse to give them what they crave, they start to panic. That's when they send those little messages, those fake apologies, those just checking in texts. Not because they care, but because they need to know if they still have control. They want to see if their betrayal still hurts, if their absence still leaves a wound. And that's when you smile, and not a warm smile, but a cold, knowing grin. The kind that says you don't even matter enough to hate. Because indifference is sharper than anger. When they realize they don't cross your mind anymore, that's when they start to crumble. That's when they fall apart. Because they're not free. They're trapped. Trapped in their own guilt, their own lies, their own emptiness. And the only way they feel alive is by dragging others down with them. So let them drown. You don't owe them a lifeline. You don't owe them anything. Some people will swear loyalty to you until it's time to prove it. They'll promise they'd die for you. But when things get rough, they're the first to disappear. And that's okay. Their betrayal was a lesson, a wake-up call you didn't know you needed. Pain has a strange way of revealing the truth. It burns, it scars, but it also clears the fog. It shows you who's real and who was only there for the free ride. So, in your mind, thank them. Not out loud. Your silence is thanks enough. But quietly, thank them for showing you their true colors before you wasted more time. Thank them for teaching you the value of solitude, the power of standing alone. Because once you've walked through hell by yourself, you stop fearing shadows. You stop looking for a hand to hold. The loneliest people are often the strongest. Stop giving life to dead situations. Stop trying to fix things that are meant to fall apart. Some people belong in your past. Some doors need to stay closed. Some bridges need to stay burned. You keep waiting for explanations that will never come. You keep expecting apologies from people who don't feel sorry. They just don't want to look like the villain. There's a difference, and the sooner you understand that, the less power they'll have over you. Let go. Unclench your fists. The world is full of liars, traitors, backstabbers. No point pretending otherwise. You can't avoid getting hurt, but you can learn how to bleed without begging for help. You can let the pain shape you instead of breaking you. You can wear your scars like armor, not wounds. Stay quiet, stay focused. Keep moving forward while they choke on their own regrets. They're watching, you know, always watching. They check in on you, ask about you, stalk your every move, hoping to find cracks in your armor, because their lives have become so small that all they have left is watching yours. But you don't even have to try. You don't even have to fight. All you have to do is exist, and that alone is enough to drive them insane. So keep existing, keep breathing, keep moving like nothing touches you. Smile that empty smile. Speak only when it matters. Walk like you have nothing to prove, because you don't. Their opinions mean nothing. Their words are just noise. You've been through worse, haven't you? You've survived darker nights, deeper pain. You've seen everything fall apart and still found a way to rise from the ashes. So what are a few whispers? A few dirty looks? A few knives in the back? Nothing. Nothing at all to someone who has already died 1,000 times and come back stronger. They want you to break. Every time, without fail, they push and prod, waiting for that moment when you finally snap. They want you to lose control, to lash out, to shatter into pieces. That's what they're hoping for, to see you crumble, to see you become the villain in their story. But don't give them that satisfaction. Stay calm, stay cold. Keep your hands clean, your heart steady. Let them lie, let them hate, let them drown in their own bitterness. Your silence is enough to punish them. Your indifference is enough revenge. You don't have to prove anything to people who never valued you in the first place. Their opinions mean nothing. Their judgments are dull, rusted weapons, unable to harm you unless you let them. Walk past them with your head high, your eyes forward. Ignore the whispers, the side glances, the desperate attempts to provoke you. Real power isn't in shouting, in fighting, in proving a point. Real power is in the quiet, in the way you smile when they expect you to rage, in the way you walk away when they think they've trapped you in a battle. The real victory is knowing you've already won simply by refusing to play their games. Stop explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. It doesn't matter how many ways you try to tell your truth. They will twist your words, bend your intentions, and reshape you into the villain they need. It was never about truth for them. It was about control. They need you to fit into the story they've created, where you're selfish, cruel, ungrateful. They need you to react, to defend, to justify yourself, because the more you do, the more guilty you look. So stop. Stop trying to clear your name to those who have already decided you're guilty. You don't owe anyone a confession for crimes you never committed. Let them talk. Let them spread their poison. The truth doesn't change just because they outnumber it. The right people will see through the lies, and the rest, they were never truly on your side to begin with. You keep making the same mistake thinking that if you're kind enough, patient enough, understanding enough, they will finally see you for who you really are. But they don't want the real you. They want someone to blame. They want a punching bag. They need someone to carry the weight of their own failures, their own insecurities. And if you snap, if you let them push you over the edge, then they get exactly what they wanted. But here's the thing about monsters. They don't hide. They don't worry about whether they went too far. If you really were what they say, they wouldn't dare speak to you the way they do. People talk the loudest when they believe there's no risk of consequence. Let them think you're weak. Let them believe they've won. Nothing is more satisfying than watching arrogance crumble under the weight of its own mistakes. They miss the old version of you, the one who apologized for existing, who bent over backward just to keep the peace, who gave and gave until there was nothing left. That version of you is gone, buried. They show up at the grave expecting the same person, and they don't understand why you don't answer the door. That's what drives them mad, the fact that they can no longer hurt you the way they used to. Some people are only loyal when they need something. Their love has conditions. Their friendship has expiration dates. They switch sides the second it's convenient and call it growth. But true growth isn't cutting people off without reason. It's not abandoning ship when things get tough and crawling back when it's safe again. That's not maturity, it's cowardice wrapped in pretty words. So stop mourning the ones who only stayed when it served them. Stop rereading old messages, revisiting old memories, hoping to find something that isn't there anymore. Some books have to end before new ones can begin. Some bridges are meant to burn. You can't build a future out of the ruins of the past. They say time heals all wounds, but that's a lie. Time doesn't heal anything. It just teaches you how to carry the pain without letting it consume you. The scars don't disappear, they just stop bleeding. The memories don't fade, they just stop haunting you with every step. Healing isn't about forgetting, it's about remembering without breaking. It's about smiling even when your lips are cracked, laughing even when your throat is filled with thorns. They want to see you broken because it justifies what they did. If you fall apart, they get to say, "See, we were right." That's why they keep pushing, keep spreading lies, hoping that one of them sticks. But every single day that you wake up, every breath you take without them proves them wrong. That's why they keep coming back. It eats them alive to know you're doing better without them, that their absence didn't destroy you like they hoped. They don't want you to move on. They want to know they still have power over you, so let them watch. Let them whisper your name like a curse while you turn it into a crown. Nothing burns more than indifference. Nothing drives them crazier than realizing you've moved on without leaving a way back for them. You've spent enough time watering dead plants hoping they'd bloom. It's time to rip them out by the roots and plant something real, something that grows toward the light instead of reaching back into the dark. Stop being loyal to people who used your love like currency. Stop revisiting places where your worth was a question instead of an answer. They will keep testing you, keep waiting for a reaction. And you will keep walking, keep breathing, keep surviving. Your silence is a weapon sharper than any insult. Your indifference a fire hotter than any rage. You don't need revenge. You don't need closure. The fact that they still talk about you while you've long stopped mentioning their names is proof enough of who really won. It's funny, isn't it? The way the ones who hurt you always come back when you've started to heal. They show up with empty apologies, with practiced words, with promises of change. But they aren't sorry. They just want to see if the knife still fits, if the wound still aches when they press on it. They can't stand the thought that you might be doing better without them. It keeps them up at night, wondering if you've learned how to live without their shadow. So they try to creep back in, spinning their old stories, hoping you'll fall for the same tricks wrapped in shinier lies. That's the test. And this time, you don't fail it. This time, you leave the door locked. You let the past stay buried. You listen to that warning deep inside, the way your stomach tightens, the way your hands shake when their name appears on your screen. You owe them nothing. Let them rot in the silence they created. Let them choke on the emptiness they left behind. Some graves aren't meant to be dug up. Some ghosts aren't worth chasing. And those "I miss you" messages, they don't miss you. They miss the control. They miss the power they had over you. It was never love, it was possession. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you stop falling for the same old cycle. They circle back, checking your social media, asking about you through mutual friends, trying to plant doubt in your mind. They need to know if they still haunt you, if you still belong to them in some way. But this time you don't give them an answer. You let them wonder. You make them question if they ever truly mattered to you. Block the numbers, burn the letters, delete the photos. Stop carrying old wounds like souvenirs. Make it so they have to fall asleep wondering if you even remember their name. Let your silence be the loudest screw you they've ever heard. And this time, when you say you're done, you mean it.